If you listen to the predictions about the midterm elections, you might think you were listening to the Weather Channel. It's going to be a tidal wave, a hurricane, an avalanche, a tsunami. But how will you be able to tell what's actually happening on election night? Well, for what it's worth, and you are watching for free, here's what I'll be looking for once the results start coming in. Let's begin with the Senate. Are there any surprises in the East that might give us some early clues? Well, for instance, nearly all the polling says the Democrats will lose the Pennsylvania Senate seat. So if Democrat Joe Sestak beats Republican Pat Toomey, it's an indication that a chunk of Obama's core voters, young, African-American, have turned out in significant numbers. Similarly, the only Republican Senate seat anywhere where Democrats seem to have a chance for a pickup is in Kentucky. A loss there for Republican Rand Paul would be a hint that the Tea Party insurgency may have turned off centrist voters. Now, if you're a Republican, you're looking at West Virginia, hoping that the anti-Obama sentiment there will lead to the election of a Republican senator for the first time in more than half a century. A GOP win in West Virginia means a big step toward taking over the U.S. Senate. The Midwest was fertile territory for Barack Obama 2 years ago. It is a very different picture now. There's a distinct possibility that Democrats will lose Senate seats in Indiana and Wisconsin, and the one to watch is the dead-even race in Illinois. That's the seat Obama once held. A Republican capture here is another sign that the Senate could well be tipping. Later on election night will come 4 Democratic Senate seats in the West, all more or less even. Colorado has been a gold mine for Democrats in recent years, but appointed Senator Mike Bennett is in a tight race with Tea Party candidate Ken Buck. Nevada's Harry Reid, the majority leader, is even at best with Tea Party heroine Sharon Engel. Washington State, Senator Patty Murray would be the odds-on favorite in an ordinary year, but in this unordinary year, the 3-term incumbent is only slightly ahead of Dino Rossi. And in California, Barbara Boxer, another Year of the Woman winner, is barely ahead of ex-Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorita. Each of these western states was blue, even deep blue, 4 years ago and 2 years ago. So Democratic losses here will tell you that there is indeed a national wave that is bringing Republican candidates to power. It's a lot more difficult to track individual races in the House of Representatives. There are as many as 100 competitive seats. So one way to see how big a wave is hitting is to look for veteran incumbents who may face trouble. And this year we're talking only about Democrats. So keep an eye on 30-year incumbent Barney Frank in Massachusetts, or Michigan's John Dingell, first elected when Eisenhower was president 55 years ago, or Missouri's Ike Skelton, a 34-year veteran, or South Carolina's John Spratt, who chairs the Budget Committee. When it comes to governors, California will get the lion's share of media attention. That's where ex-Governor Jerry Brown is running against Meg Whitman. But I will be looking to the heartland. 6 states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa, all have Democratic governors. On Election Day, they could all go Republican. Finally, almost every campaign produces a who'da-thunk-it moment. Could a third-party candidate be elected governor in Colorado? Could a write-in candidate win a Senate seat in Alaska? Could California voters legalize marijuana? Could a late surge of Democratic voters knock all those pre-election certainties into a cocked hat? I often root for that kind of night because it would be more proof that whoever called it political science had a really good sense of humor.